Hi, it's Olivia, and today I'm just gonna be rambling like in full space nerd and science nerd to you because that's just what I want to talk about. I realized the other day, like I'm the type of person who loves looking up at the sky, thinking about my place in the universe and everything that encompasses, and it's fun to think about. But I've never really had like a deep conversations with someone else about what they think. Well, I mean, occasionally, but I mean, I just realized like I can talk about it in a video and the comments would probably be really fun on this. Let me just first say, I think that the universe is the most humbling thing. It just is. And the fact that it's so endlessly massive. And so big that we really can't comprehend. Our brains, I don't think, can comprehend just how big the universe is. And maybe you've seen it, it's a really popular video on YouTube, a star comparison where it shows the size of Earth and then it shows as other celestial bodies like planets and stars in the galaxy, and then it shows you all the galaxy. Like it's a really what's the opposite of claustrophobic? It kind of makes you feel like that when you realize just how much space there is out there. It's a really cool video. But anyway, I think just that fact alone, knowing that we are so unbelievably tiny when compared to everything else. And I also think that the universe is humbling in that, like, no matter who you are, rich or poor, no matter your race, gender, religion, whatever it is, we all look up at the same sky. We all are in this, like, isn't that kind of beautiful that no matter where we are, we're here on Earth and we could all look up at the sky and see the same stuff. We see the same stars. It might be blocked by some clouds in your area, but regardless, we all look at the same sun, the same moon, the same stars, and it's kind of a unifying, like, humbling thing, I think, to think about that. But how just space is just so cool. Also, learning, I've never taken an astronomy class, but at some point in my life, I really want to take an astronomy class. I have an astronomy book, the Atlas of the Universe, that I bought one time at Barnes & Noble. I have this app on my phone called Sky Guide. It's one of the only ones I've paid for, and I use it with an iTunes gift card. And you could point it anywhere in the sky, and it tells you like everything you're looking at, from the constellations to maybe some like astronomical events going on. It is amazing, and I've honestly learned so many constellations just from holding it up so frequently. There was a meteor shower that was very visible, at least here from Southern California. By the way, that's where I live. I've gotten a lot of questions because I realized that I never mentioned that. I live here kind of in the LA area. Anyway, I kind of forgot that there was a meteor shower happening until at like 2 a.m. I was getting a midnight snack. We'll just say it was a 2 a.m. snack. That's me. And I just, in my kitchen, like in our kitchen, there's a glass door that leads to our backyard, and I always am staring out of that door, and so it's like 2 a.m. I've got, I think, my Rice Krispie treat, and I went to look out the door, and I was able to see like so many shooting stars within just like half an hour, and every single time one went by, I felt so dramatic, but I like audibly gasped every time I saw one, and I was just so amazed, and it was so beautiful, and I just sat there leaning against the glass door for like a solid hour at 2 a.m. eating my Rice Krispie. It was an experience, let me tell you. One of the reasons why I felt inspired to make this video is because of the recent astronomy event that we all know that NASA discovered like 7 other planets, and I think they're all orbiting one star, and they're in like habitable range of that star. And I don't think like finding planets in itself is not that uncommon. I think space programs do it quite frequently actually, but finding that many circling one star that are in habitable range and size, that's big news. And it got attention. It got quite a bit of media attention, but things like that, I'm always like, why are people not like shouting this in the streets? I went to the like Ralph's a little bit after I learned the news about that, and I just felt like talking to everybody in the grocery store about that. I was like, I just wanted to go up to them and be like, did you hear that there's like 7 planets that they just found? Another one that stood out was when they landed a satellite on a comet. I understand that on planet Earth right now, there's places in the world that are not doing that great. Politics are not fun right now, but I don't see how this isn't like #1 trending on all social media. Like these kind of things, just I don't understand how they're not #1 news for like weeks, because they're just so incredible and I always want to talk about them. I start going into like 2 a.m. type of thoughts right now, but when it comes to what I think is out there, there's so much space and we don't know so much. So like we know so little, and I don't know, just how I feel about aliens or whatever. I definitely think, I absolutely believe that there is something out there. It just seems impossible that we would be the only ones here. However, in what life form that comes in my mind, because we have no knowledge, like no human, nothing of Earth has ever like experienced anything beyond what our furthest satellites have seen. Like, what if these aliens or whatever, that we would call them aliens, what if their definition of life isn't even what we think? What if like they could be anything. They could be like a type of rock, they could be some sort of material we've never seen before in our life. It's just, they could be absolutely anything. And that's one of the reasons why when it comes to like sci-fi movies and space movies, this is why Interstellar is one of my favorite things, because it kind of takes on that question. It's like the directors and writers are having fun with that idea of what's out there in like deep space. And I know that some people with Interstellar were like, why weren't there aliens? That was my mom's like first complaint. She was like, oh yeah, it was pretty good, but there weren't any aliens? And I'm like, I think that there's if there's so many planets out there, I think there's as good a chance of there being like a planet full of water like there is on Interstellar as there is as being a planet with some bizarre life form that we've never seen. I don't want to talk too long, but I'd also seen this video, what was it? I think it was called What If NASA Had the Budget of the US Military. That is a very, very insightful video, I think, because I believe it's like $600 billion a year is spent on the U.S. military. The U.S. is the biggest military force in the world, and we truly can be going further if our space programs had more money, if they had the equipment that they needed to go further, to take their satellites further. I think that we would be so much further ahead in like space breakthroughs and stuff like that if space programs were given the funding that they were getting like during the Cold War. Obviously there was a huge interest in space during the Cold War, but it seems like after that it's just died down. It just feels like there's not enough love and interest and just passion for exploring beyond Earth, and I want to see us come back to that. I used to be a part of this group called Tetrek. It was like a 1-week math and science camp for girls. I know that sounds so nerdy, but I loved it. But anyway, after that, we would go on many like occasional field trips throughout the year to like science and math related stuff, and one of them, and my favorite one, is we went to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, which is here also in Southern California, and that place is just awesome. They work in association with like NASA. They build stuff that goes into space. They have the mission control room, but when I went there, you guys know the Mars Rover Curiosity. That's the most recent rover that they put on Mars, and they were building it when we went over there. Like, we went into the big viewing room where they're down there working in the suits. It's all white and they're working on it. I got to see the Mars rover that is on Mars right now, and it's so, oh my gosh. And even cooler is they had this thing going on where they had sheets of paper and you can sign your name, and what they did is they scanned those papers, they shrunk down all those names onto a microchip, and they put that on the rover. So I have the honor of saying that my name is on Mars, as well as like the 20 other people whose names I put on the paper. I'd like to think that one day I'll write a book along the lines of like a concept or theme like Interstellar. I love that movie so much, and I think it'd be so much fun to write a book kind of exploring this. But that, if I can get past this one that I'm trying to work on right now. But I think I'm gonna end it there. I sometimes people leave long comments on my videos and then they'll apologize for the long comment, and I'm like, don't apologize. I love long comments, and I especially will love them here. If you have whatever thoughts you have related to anything space, tell me you're like 3 a.m. I'm thinking about my place in the universe thoughts. What do you think? Do you think there's aliens out there? What do you think they look like? Oh, a good question is, if you could travel to Mars, there's been a couple sci-fi movies. I think it was like Passengers. I think there's the book Across the Universe. Like if they had a mission that was putting like the first human beings on a different planet, would you go? Would you? I would like to say that I would, but that is terrifying. It's amazing to think about, but I think that's pretty terrifying. Tell me whatever you want. Tell me your thoughts on recent space news, anything, and I will see you in another video. Bye.